Hey guys, Matthew here from the MMAT YouTube channel. The weather recently has been pretty terrible for ultralight flying, so when it cleared up this weekend, I jumped at the chance to get in a few more hours of ski flying before spring finally gets here and all the snow melts. I had scouted out these fields a few weeks back, and at that time, a windstorm had produced some pretty nasty snow drifts. You can still see some evidence of them, but it looks like they've mostly eroded away, but not to the point where I'm comfortable landing. So I pop up over the tree line into another field, which I know has a smoother section. You can see that there are still quite a few drifts on this end of the field, but up here next to the trees, you can see that the wind was blocked just enough to prevent any drifts from forming. A nice, smooth, gentle touchdown to make sure that the snow isn't too deep. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you may remember the one where I almost got stuck. You should bear in mind that I'm not using full throttle for any of my takeoffs, since I recently had the engine worked on, and the mechanic recommended that I avoid full throttle for at least 5 hours to let the rings set in properly. That wide open field was just too easy, so I looked around and found a field that looked a little bit more fun to play in. I had to do a bit of a slip as I was a bit too high, and then as I got lower, I saw that the snow was smoother next to the trees, so I turned a bit to avoid a few of the snow drifts. I taxied back to the beginning of the makeshift runway and decided that this was a pretty good spot for a photo op. Whoa! Turns out that snow is quite a bit deeper than I thought. It's a good thing the skis didn't break through, or I would have been there all day. With close to a mile of smooth snow ahead of me, I use even less throttle for this takeoff. Flying down low below the treetops is one of my favorite things to do. But don't worry, I scout out all the fields that I do this in beforehand to check for wires and other obstacles. So I played around in a couple of other fields for a bit, and then decided to head back to the airport to get some more gas. On the way, I spotted a snowmobile cutting across a large swamp. I figure if it's frozen enough for his snowmobile, it's gotta be frozen enough for me. So I give him a wave to make sure that he's seen me, and I circle down looking for a good spot to land. With some dead trees sticking up out of the ice to avoid, I line up just next to the snowmobile trail and set her down. It's a little bumpier than I would have liked, but it's a good workout for the suspension, I guess. It turns out that Douglas works at or maybe owns the convenience store right next to the airport. The conversation was a little confusing for both of us since he speaks primarily French and I speak primarily English. He was definitely a nice guy though. But with the sun setting, we bid each other adieu, and I get ready to take off again. Oh, dropped your glove. You don't want to go too far in this weather without gloves on. So with a wave and a bit of a wing waggle, we part ways and I head back to the airport. If you get a chance, you should check out part 2 of this flying adventure, where I land and take off from the side of a hill. It's not a huge hill, but it's a lot bigger than any other hill that I've operated from yet. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching. We'll catch you next time.